difficult moment in front of televisions and 65 million experts watching, and they think it's easy. You give me one advocate in this country, one lawyer who's been had the task to tell a deputy chief justice that you must recuse yourself.
While representing a former president.
While representing a former president who is despised by the powerful. As this guilty person who's not liked. You are in the middle of it. Not because you like or dislike any of them, but you're in the middle of it. So I explain it in the book because people don't know high stakes litigation.
Absolutely.
Right. And so in a way, it was a difficult moment and it has cost friendships, in a way. For spectators, it looks like a spectacle to analyze. But for those involved, it's a very difficult moment. It was never easy for Zondo either.
Yeah, sure.
It was not easy. I don't take it lightly. It was not easy for Zuma. It was not easy for me because I'm presenting it. So so it was throughout. It's very difficult to represent a client who's despised, who's also such an enigma. Zuma causes irrationality to those who love him and those who hate him. They become irrational, all of them. Those who love him think he can do no wrong. Those who hate him think he is guilty of all the ills in the country. He's a scapegoat for many and a hero for others, sometimes just because they love him. And it's a difficult client to have.
Fam, before we get back to the episode, we just want to let you know we have a big goal on this channel to build this community to 1,000 members. That means we have 2 new levels of SMWX membership. The first level gives you exclusive access to content, discounts on merch, but the second level, in addition to various other perks, gives you access to me. We're going to have meetups, online sessions. You're going to get discount on our live events. So if you want to deepen your SMWX community experience, help us get to that 1,000 member level. Look forward to seeing you there. And when you're associated with President Zuma, whether his lawyer or some other association, that irrationality then turns on to you.
Yeah, but it's also mixed with race. It didn't happen to the white lawyers who represent him, so it turns in race because when you are an African lawyer, there's a general, even by black people, there's a general acceptance that because you are black, you are not independent, you're not professional.
You're pursuing some political agenda.
While white lawyers do this, white lawyers now represent 3 people who are accused of feeding 2 black women to the pigs. Ask any South African if they know their names. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But because it's fine, it's not too difficult. It's not a big case for someone to feed black women to the pigs. And to represent those, it's fine. But to represent Zuma is a bigger crime than representing a priest who's raped teenagers and a white farmer who's fed 2 women to the pigs. A lot of my colleagues represented a lot of white crooks, tax dodgers in the 90s and the 2000s. We don't even know their names. So I don't think it's just that it's difficult to be an advocate. It's difficult to be a black advocate in high stakes litigation.
That is so true because Advocate Jeremy Gauntlet, brilliant advocate, he represented Zuma in the Nkandla matter, and they basically came before court and
you know why? Because he is white and is cleverer, more independent, is professional. He can't be like Dali or Moses Kakaya. He's superior. So don't judge him. But that's the logic. That's the philosophy that I want young lawyers to get out of their system. The desire to seek white validation and validation at the expense of truth. And to please powerful forces at the expense of their clients.
Kemp, I can't remember the number of times he went to court, but he was never associated in the same way with Zuma.
Not in that way, but I spoke to Kemp.
Really?
Yeah, before. I think I do raise it a bit. And he was tired. He was fatigued.
Sure.
He didn't even go through what I was going through. But he was fatigued.
Wow.
Because as a lawyer, there's nothing as exciting as preparing a legal point for a big matter. But when you've reached a point where it doesn't matter. I can prepare for 4 solid days, and I think I'm right on this point.
Yeah.
But the system is such that those who are adjudicating may not want to be seen to be agreeing with who I represent. It kills your spirit. And I think when I met him, he didn't retire because he was old or anything or sick, no. He was a great man, a very, very affable, humble guy. But he had been fatigued.
Wow.
Because it didn't really matter how thorough you are. When you are representing Zuma, you're starting from 10-0. As you stand up, it's 10-0. And your opponent is 10 up on you because he represents the good side.
Yeah.
And so it's a difficult thing, and it's worse when you're black because there are all sorts of assumptions about you. I mean, take the issue that Zuma lawyers should not be paid by the state. When did that happen? When his lawyer became black.
Sure.
J. Kemp had been milking it. Even black people started making noise about the legal costs when lawyers became black.
Absolutely.
I don't think they are conscious about this. Even our politicians are not conscious.
Fees even get thrown out into the public space.
So it's that I'm trying to write about that experience, and I'm not saying it's the only correct experience or the facts or things I talk about. But it's important for people to know the system and how it kills you. You're going to be a lawyer soon, and you will see that it will disappoint you to see that in order to make money, a lot of black people who are smart live their lives complying, conforming, insulting themselves and those who are like them in order to survive, in order to go to a coffee shop and be liked by their white colleagues because they need to survive. So they live at their own expense, hiding how they feel. And so I'm trying to write so that the younger lawyers like yourself maybe can push the frontiers a bit by trusting themselves and believing that they don't have to please anyone to live, to survive.
The Zuma contempt moment is when you, after that, transitioned out of the legal representation of former President Zuma, if I'm not incorrect, and you give us some insight into that moment as well. Talk us through that, because again, this is a key moment in our political history where a former president effectively says, I'm not going to appear. And people then think that is you saying to the former president, well, the best thing you can do now legally is say you're not going to appear before the court.
I mean, look, let's not blame him only. First of all, those who went to drink tea with him, who thought they were smarter than me, they were going to give him advice we hadn't given him. They haven't told us what he said to them. He phoned me every time they went to him. He says, hey, Mus, they are here outside. They think they can persuade me. You know why? All of them thought they were so superior. They knew something that we had not told him. We told President Zuma everything. All scenarios, like you would with a client. But you've got to respect your client. Clients can only do what they are emotionally and mentally ready to do. Don't force them to do things that you prefer, unless they want to do something inappropriate. When someone says it no longer matters to go to court, I'm accumulating costs for no reason, no one's listening. That idea from him resonated with me. I was tired of going to court to be abused when it means nothing. Someone said in the judgment, you will read, they say Zuma did not come to present his side. Detention without trial is a Section 35 issue of the Constitution. You don't need a lawyer to persuade you to comply with the Constitution as a court. So what's going to happen next time? We're going to sentence someone to death and say, well, his lawyers did not come. you can't do what is unconstitutional and say, well, he should have come to present what's constitutional. Not when something so clear. So, yes, he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing because he respects the law, but he had given up. And as lawyers, we would persuade him, but we had to understand that we too were fatigued. We had reached a point I see now where you go to court, you respect the judges, but you can see they've started competing about who can put you to your place. And it's not a nice feeling. So it reached a point where even for us as lawyers, for me in particular, speak for myself, I was tired of going to a place where it doesn't matter how rigorous I can be.
Yeah.
I'm subjecting myself to abuse that actually will achieve nothing. And I'm trying to say these stories not to insult or scandalize the courts. I want the judges to reflect, to rethink, to look at their demeanor and things they say in politically contentious matters. And that's my aim. I'm not scandalizing them. Even where I say there's no integrity, I'm trying to be as brutal as I can so that they can... I'm saying things people say about them in the privacy of their homes. And I'm trying to bring it out as impolitely as I can so that it can shock their system and they can sit. And most judges are very close to me, and they're men and women of great, great intentions.